It is another beautiful time in the studio on the African Portal Radio TV International, coming to you live from Pretoria here in South Africa. Thanks to my dear sister all the way from Ghana for that beautiful song we're coming in with. We are live with the prophet himself, Prophet Daniel, with me on the African Portal Radio. You remember your weekend began from here in on the African Portal Radio TV. Firstly, let me use this time to greet everyone, no matter where you are, no matter the language you speak, no matter the time zone. I greet you according to your language and according to your time zone. Welcome to the African Portal. It's going to be two-way show. As you know, that weekend is always live on Friday. Is when we make sure you start your weekend in a very good tell. Remember, Labos is the company that paid for this hour. So it's going to be another beautiful hour with great man of God, the prophet Daniel. Is going to be interesting. And as you are stepping onto this program, kindly available on the African Portal website and also available on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube. So can share, like, remember your comment is very, very comment is actually to work. So please, the more the comments, the more you give us energy to continue on this program. Let me take time to welcome everyone in South Africa. Unjani, Dumela, Ashe, Moloi. In northern part of Africa, we greet you. Also in South Africa, East Africa, North Africa, Central Africa, we greet every one of you. In East Africa, Abarisa, also in English-speaking country, hello, French-speaking country, we greet you. In Nigeria, we greet you. Also in Ghana, we greet every one of you according to your language. Welcome to the African Portal, right? I'm going to be using opportunity to speak some of the African language because I'm more comfortable when I see myself blowing the real African language because that is who we are. We cannot shine away from our originality. It's unfortunate that we have to be using this language I'm speaking as a medium of communication, but having said that, also we also be incorporate our way into it. So in Yoruba land, I greet you. Igbo land in Nigeria, do in Hausa land, in Nakwana, in Yoruba land, Ekaleo. No matter what the time is, I greet you. Nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, Ekale, Ekudede wòyí, òbòjú ọjọ́ ṣe rí, ẹkú fọmọnìyàn ṣe. Alẹ́lẹ́ Friday lálálẹ́ Friday náà la máa ń dábòlẹ̀ tí Labos tán ṣe olùgbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀ tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tó máa ń yípọ̀ tó máa ń lẹ́dùn tó máa ń lárinrin lónìí yóò dùn gbọ́ngbọ́n yóò kàn sí níbi táti máa dábòlẹ̀ tí ó máa dún tí ó máa dùn tí ó máa dòdò lójú òpó ètò ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò padà bẹ́ẹ̀ tì mí náà ní Olúdáre ọmọ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Samuel Olùṣègùn Olùsàn èmi lọ́pàpá dámọ́ ń tọ́ fọ́mọkùnrin bọ̀lẹ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ ọmọ sọ́sẹ̀ sọ́sọ́ ọ̀hún kárí bí kọ́lé sí ọmọ oníyan ọjọ́ kẹfà tí í ṣe eruku lẹ́lẹ́ tó jẹ́ òrè tiẹ̀ jẹ́ láti ìyá mi bí lókìtẹ́pá bí ẹ̀kún bá bà mí ò sí lásán tí bá ń bẹ́ lé àdúgbò ẹran fún mi jẹ ọmọ orí molú sì lèmi ọmọ ají fọ́ọ̀rẹ́ ṣe tẹ̀ jẹ ọmọ ají fọwọ́ tiẹ̀ ṣe tí ó jẹ ọlọ́wọ́ ọba ló gbọ́ àkàlẹ̀ pé ọ̀fẹ́ ọba láàánú ńlá ọba tó lọ́jọ́ ọba tó nígbà ọba tó làkókò ọba tó ní ọba tó ní mí ọba tó fi afẹ́fẹ́ tó fi ṣàgbéjẹ omi àpèpè tán àwòwò tán àríìrí tán ọba lórí ayé gbogbo ọba tó níbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọba tó lùkọ́ ọba tó lè jí ọba tí wà láàyè wá wà nù rẹ̀ sísùn jíjí wa lílọ bíbọ̀ wa inú ló wà òun náà lálágbára òun lágbára ju gbalagbára lọ ẹ rántí pé ìlú Ìbàdàn wọn ti bí ń lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn lé Olúyọ̀lé ìlú Ìbíkúnlé alágbàlá ológodò kẹ̀ríkẹ̀rí lójú ogun wọn lọ lẹ́yìn Jagunlabi òun lára àwájú Ìbàdàn mọ́jà tán fi ká wájú tán ọmọ agbósásá mọ́ sáá ọmọ ayàyàyà mọ́yà Ìbàdàn lè ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ gbé ètò yìí ká máa dábòlẹ̀ kó máa ládùn kó máa lárẹ̀rẹ̀ lapọ́s náà lóṣù nígbọ̀wọ́ àwọn abala ìpolówó ọjà agbára Èdùmàrè ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tiwa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá èdè èbó ni ó pọ̀ jù ní èyí gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n pé tẹ́jàlejò mi elédè èbó ni wọ́n ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Ghana ni wọ́n ṣe é ṣe ká má gbọ́ èdè tèmi ń sọ yìí ká lè jọ gbádùn ara wa bí èbó ṣe ń gbádùn tí ẹ jẹ́ ìsèbó díẹ̀ mò ń bọ̀ mo ti dé ojú òní tiwa ìbàjẹ́ òní bá wa. To those of you listening to us, that is who we are. That is Africa. I love it when I'm wearing my language. When I'm speaking my language, I'm so happy. So let me give you opportunity, my guest in the studio, to introduce himself, and I'm expecting my guest as well to also speak some of the beautiful Ashanti from Ghana. That people will know that, wow, we are original Africa. The Prophet Daniel, to welcome you once again to this beautiful conversation. It's going to be a lovely time. Tonight is not an official, it's just an impromptu arrangement. So we're going to be talking about issues with some declaration as Africa needs deliverance. Africa needs to come out of the bondage. So those are the things that we'll be embarking on. But firstly, let me allow you to introduce yourself to my listeners at home, who you are, where you are, and the position you hold in the society.
Thank you very, very much, and fellow members and fellow audience that are watching us. And as my beloved brother has said, my name is the Prophet Daniel Asamoah-larbi. And first of all, my greetings to all beloved people and beautiful people of South Africa. I love them so much. I always come to Durban. So the Durban people, way. I greet you all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. As I said, my name is the Prophet Daniel Asamoah-larbi, and by the grace of God, I am the president of the Worldwide Council of the Prophetic Alliance, also president of the CIB Christian Intelligence Bureau, and also the president of GAIE, and as well as founder of House of God International Prayer Ministry. And it's in Canada. Headquarters is in Canada, and also we have branches all over the world, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa itself, and other places of the world. And tonight is going to be very beautiful, very prophetic, and very impactful in the life of many people, because your viewers are big, man of God, your viewers are very big, and I respect all of them. And it's going to be very, very grateful and very educational tonight.
Wow. So everyone listening to us, that is what you hear to your start. Beautiful tonight is going to be another beautiful time as the man of God will be making some declaration, and also at the same time we will be having time to talk about how we can come out of the mental bondage that Africa have locked himself in, because we need to step out of that. The greatest deliverance, I remember when I was having a conversation with man of God before we step into the show, I said that the greatest deliverance to any mankind is the mental deliverance, and the greatest prison any can be on earth is mental prison. So tonight is going to be a lovely, beautiful time with the man of God, a great man of God for times such as this. Oh, people in Positive FM Ghana, thank you so much. I'm having a lot of people join me from Ghana, from Positive FM in Ghana. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Keep it up. I'm expecting a lot of people to be part of this conversation. Remember, we are in this together. I cannot do it alone. Then you make a lot of sense to me, and you. We come out every day to make sure that we broadcast. So we are doing it together. Kindly step in. Let's do it together. Let's enjoy ourselves and let's talk about ourselves. Thank you very much, everyone. The Prophet Daniel, I really want to about that, and I want to thank you because God a lot meant to your head. But let me quickly join me. A lot of people will be asking, The prophet. What is the role of the prophet? Most especially in times such as this, when the government already took over the control of the word from the church. What is the role of the prophet in times such as this?
Thank you. Of a prophet is just simple a messenger, because in the Bible, in the book of Amos 3:7, there is something that Amos said. It said, surely the sovereign God will do nothing but to reveal his secret to the servant, the prophet. So there are so many people who will speak the mind of God, but they will speak in terms of knowledge, word of knowledge. But it takes only the prophet to get the secret mind of God. He said the revelations that we have and the vision we have is for us, but the secret things belongs to God. And the Amos 3:7 says that surely the sovereign God will do nothing but to reveal his secret to only his servant, the prophet. He didn't say the messenger. He didn't say, he didn't say the apostle. He didn't say the evangelist. He didn't say the teacher. He didn't say the whatever it is. He said the prophet, which means that the fivefold ministry, they are all very important and playing essential role in the life of the ministry. But God singled out the prophet. He said that surely the sovereign God will do nothing but to reveal his secret to his servant, the prophet. Now, guess what? Man of God, this is so powerful that immediately God had encounter with Moses, Aaron, and Miriam when they spoke against God and against Moses. God appeared to them and said to them, listen, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to him in dreams and in vision. But my servant Moses is not. I reveal myself to him face to face, which means Moses even is not a prophet. Moses is a deliverer. When you look at Exodus chapter 7, verse 1 and 2, is stated there that Moses, I will make you a god, small g, but your brother Aaron, I will make him a prophet. Before they go to Egypt, which means that Aaron was acting as a prophet here on behalf of the one that God has made him a deliverer. So Moses was a deliverer and Aaron was a prophet at that time. And God speaks to prophet in dreams and in vision and prophetic insights.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. I have a lot of people joining us. Julius Olagoroye is joining us all the way from Lagos. And I also have one of the great women, Agnes Sharon, joining us. Say greeting, Prophet Daniel, also sending his greeting there. Thank you very much. God bless you. Please keep those comments up and keep sharing this program. Invite more people to join, because reality of the time is going to be revealed on this program, to know the office of the prophet and why the prophet important in time such as this. Sir, let's quickly look at the challenges facing the office of prophet of the day. A lot of people seems to commercialize the gift of God by making the office of the prophet worthless, because many people said when God is not saying, how can we identify the real prophet and the fake prophet? Because already talk about it that in the end time there will be more of fake prophets. How can we identify the real prophet and the fake prophet?
You say in ecclesia, it is general in ecclesia, the Bible, it is stated that anyone that prophesies and the prophecy comes to pass, it means that he's a prophet. But it is more than that, because when you look at the area of Moses and Aaron, Moses prophesied, he speaks the word, it comes to pass. But God still gave him a prophet to be a companion in the journey. What does it make the difference? So therefore, in knowledge, a prophet is a messenger of God, the one that speaks that comes to pass, and the one with the prophetic direction. The key word is prophetic direction, because you will see that Moses will speak and Aaron will perform the prophetic direction. Moses will say, Aaron, stretch the rod. Moses will say, Aaron, put the rod here. So Aaron was functioning as a prophet based on Exodus chapter, 7 verse 1 down. It made it clear that Aaron was a prophet and Aaron was performing the prophetic direction. So prophets goes with prophesy came to pass, that attached with a prophetic direction. Somebody will say, what is a prophetic direction? Prophetic direction is one of the things that we call the signs and the token, the tuning and the meum. That is the direction that anything that you declare, like in the tuning, we have Aaron breastplate, that it was signal and was given the direction. If it is true or wrong, it was given communication. So God speak through prophetic direction by things that people do not believe, beyond human understanding. How can Elijah or Elisha can say that the water that we have come to the riverside is the water of Marmara? It tastes no taste. What do I do? Give me a salt. Give me an earthwell bowl. Put the salt in an earthwell bowl. Dish it in the water. Then all of a sudden, the water became tasty. Secondly, the children of the prophet, they are going somewhere. They want to go with the prophet. They went and borrow an axe. And when they were chopping down the tree, the axe fell in the sea, in the river. How can they bring it out? They were young prophets. They don't know what to do. So what did Elisha say? Get me a stick. He took the stick, a normal stick, and put it on the river. And the stick went down, and the axe, which is heavier than the stick, floated. It breaks the law of Archimedes principle, which Archimedes principle is that the abstract of the pool of the surface tension breaks and there will be abstract. This is a case whereby a mere wood can cause a metal, which is heavier, to come to float. That is the miracle of God. So directions of God is beyond human understanding. So a prophet, what will bring a true prophet is a man of God. A prophet is chosen, raised, trained by God, who will speak the mind of God, not by himself wisdom, the mind of God that will come to pass and perform prophetic direction. To a layman understanding, prophetic direction, it is like buying a television set, which you don't know how to use it. That comes with a manual. So you look at the manual tell you, plug the TV here, press A, press B, reset it. So when you follow the manual, you get your video or your TV set going. So the prophetic directions are the prophetic manual accompanied the prophecy to speed it up to come to pass. It breaks the supernatural and break the realm and the portal of the physical world. I use the word portal, man of God. When I saw your program, and it is an African portal, I said, wow, I wonder how many people will understand the word portal. Portal is a spiritual opening. It's a divine door. It's a divine window. That supernatural comes from the heavens into the ethical. And so in this case, we are going to see through the supernatural portals, the windows of heavens are going to be open, and prophetic revelations are going to come for us to give to the people. So spiritual portal is what Africa we need. We need a divine intervention to bring a spiritual portal.
Wow. Yes, a lot of people are joining this conversation. Mary Bowman is watching us all the way from Jamaica. Thank you very much, Mary Bowman. Please keep sharing this program. This is a great program that is going to spell out the role of the prophet in times such as this. I remember we're still going to be having the show because we are still talking about fivefold ministry. We're going to break it down one by one. This is a series we just started, and it's going to be a powerful that. But we start with the office of the prophet. Sir, there is a time in people of the hold that a man of God, a prophet stood up and prophesied that in tomorrow they will be selling the cage, the shekel. They'll be selling it in certain points price. And then a man wake up and say, no, it's not going to be possible. And the man of God say, yes, it will happen, but you will see, but you will not touch. Do we still have such man of God in times such as this? Do we still prophet in times such as this? Because it seems to look like the government seems to be like throwing us here and there without letting, the office of the prophets fully perform their duty, most especially in times such as this. Do we still have such a man of God in time like this?
Yes, you are perfectly right. You are talking about, I think, 2 Kings 7 or so, concerning the 4 lepers. The 4 lepers are people who cannot, speak to. They have leprosy, and they were excommunicated from the city. And Elisha came when the economy of the country was crippled. The economy was bad. That economy financially is bad. At that time, when we bring it to our present world, man of God, we will know that the currency at the country in connection with the dollar is flat. It has fallen down. Things are right. Economic status, the GDP is high. The GDP is so much high that there's no money and everything is going down in that place. But do you know something? It takes the prophet to break the realms, to cause a prophetic direction to let the economy rise up again. I will use this instantly to say something, and I will laugh. Human being, without the intervention of God, you cannot do anything. So when Elisha came in, Elisha saw in the realm of the spirit and saw that there is a portal. And God spoke to Elisha and said, tomorrow about this time, tell the people that the gate of Syria, tomorrow about this time, there will be explosion of economy. The economy, financial, is going to be booming up. They say even as a handful of a flour is going to be sold by a shekel. Meanwhile, it was more than about 25 shekel, but now it has cut down into a shekel. Then the people say, what? Almost about 25 shekel to a flour into a shekel? Example, that we are saying that in petrol in a country, in Africa, certain part of Africa or certain part of Asia or the world, the petrol economy has gone high. The drivers cannot buy petrol. Nobody can do anything. And all of a sudden, a man of God came and said, wow, the Lord spoke to me tomorrow about this time. Petrol, a gallon, which was costing about $200, is going to be sold for $5. And the people say, no, this is impossible. It's not going to happen. And you know something? The people were doubting it. But God wanted to say that people who are rejected are going to have salvation. Why am I saying that? The 4 lepers who believe that there's no hope. The 4 lepers who has been rejected. Mental slavery. The 4 lepers said something. They said, if we sit here, we will die. And if we move forward to the Syria camp, we shall die. So what do? They took a risk. A man of God, refusing to take a risk is a risk. And taking a risk is also a risk. So the 4 lepers who knew that they have been rejected.
Say that again, sir.
You see, refusing to take a risk is a risk by refusing to take that risk. And taking a risk also is a risk to take a risk. So the 4 lepers were saying to one another, lepers, they have any problem with their nursery and their hands are chopped. So they said, my brothers and my sisters, the situation we are in. We have been rejected in the city. When we go to the city, they will kill us. And when we sit in our poverty, we will still die. So what the man of God has said, let us believe that sitting here will die. If we sit here, we'll die. When we move forward, we'll die. Let's move by faith, by obeying the voice of the prophet. Meanwhile, Elisha has prophesied that tomorrow about this time, there is going to be a financial breakthrough. So people who have normal sense were using normal economy strata. Example, let me use my country, Ghana. In our country, Ghana, during before the elections, our vice president was speaking and he said the economy of Ghana, the cedi cannot catch the dollar, but before the previous. But you know what I'm going to do? When I come, we are going to arrest the dollar and give them the key of put it in the coffers or the locker and give the key to the IGP. That's what the vice president said. He's going to lock the economy, this dollar, so that the Ghana cedi will be the same with the dollar. Okay? Point of correction, I quoted, that is what he said, and it's in the social media everywhere in Ghana. But you know, up to now, the dollar is still running faster than the city. He couldn't control it. The politician could not. It takes the hand of God. For the Bible, we have a record, we have a testimony in the Second Kings when Elisha spoke tomorrow about this time. So the prophet can change the economy of a country. The prophet can change the economy, the true prophet of God. I'm not talking about shabby prophet. I'm talking about a true prophet. Listen, you go to the social media, you have it in the newspaper, what the vice president said. We are going to arrest the dollar and put the dollar in a coffers and give the key to the IGP. I still also have it in the Bible recorded. Elisha commanded the dollar or commanded the cedi rate, commanded the economy, and it becomes stable. The people were saying it's impossible for the man of God to be able to command financial exposure in the gate of Syria. But man of God, guess what? The man who was working in the presidency, in the Bible, the man who was working with the government or the king said something. What did he say? He said, it's impossible. It can never come to pass. It's impossible. He worked in the government. He's working with the king in the king palace. He was rejecting the prophecy from the prophet. But what happened? The prophet told him, because you have rejected it, you will see the miracle, you will see the breakthrough, but you will never eat of it. There are some people, they have to get a mental change. They must begin to tell themselves that nothing is impossible before God. Africa can be revived. Africa will make it. Today, Africa has become like a lepers. As we are beggars, we need help. A leper need a help. A leper need to ask somebody, give me money for food. A leper, but there is a time that the leper have to say, borrowing is enough. There is a time that the leper will say, I will not depend on people. I must go to the source of the prophecy. I must go to the country whereby they are saying that economy is like telling Africa tomorrow about this time. Africa economy is going to boom up. Tomorrow about this time. Some people will say, how can this be? But you know, the lepers had a change of mind. The lepers say, when we sit here, we shall die. When we live to the city, we shall die. So what will we do? We will move by faith. And Bible made it clear to us that when the lepers were moving and their legs were hitting the ground, what happened? The sounding, God amplified their faith. When you get a renewal of mind and believe that your African country is born to succeed, God will amplify your faith. And you saw something? God amplified their faith to a sense that the Syrian army, the greatest army at that time, when they heard the noise coming, they thought the Egyptians, I like the word, the Egyptians army is coming back again. So what happened? They ran away and left the camp with all the jewelries, the riches, the economic, everything. They ran away. And the lepers, they find it. They got the money. They stored their house. They went to the cave that they were in. They stored the cave with a lot of food, a lot of things to reserve. Africa people have to get mentality and begin to learn how to do preservation. We must learn how to do preservation. We have raw materials. We have things that we don't preserve it. We just let loose. You can go to Africa and see how tomatoes is overboomed and is rotting in the market. Meanwhile, other countries can make a tomato paste and sell it to we, the producers, that will produce the raw material. Yes, and send it back to us. So the things in the Bible can be related to our present context, which we live in. And the lepers became rich and said, now let us go and announce to our people who did not believe that our country, we can be successful. Our people who have never believed that Africa, Ghana, Jamaica, Nigeria, Caribbeans, we can succeed. We can make it. My brother, this message and the discussion we are having, it is only the portal people who look through the portals can receive it. And the man doubted it and said, even when the windows of heaven, the one who is working with the presidency, he said, even when the windows of heaven is open, this thing will never happen. This thing will never what? It will never happen, even when the windows of heaven is open. And so what is the window? The portals. What are the portals? Even when we are talking now from the portals, African portals, some people will just say that Africa can never meet the other countries. It is difficult. But I'll tell you something. Renewal of mind and how technology is moving very fast. It is advantage for Africa. The technology that is moving very fast, as a senior prophet, I am telling you, the slow pace of technology in Africa, it will benefit Africa more than the international country. Right now, everything is technology. And because of that, they are going into a ditch. Everything is technology. But don't forget, God who created the heavens and earth did not make a mistake. Why did I say, man of God? I am telling you this deep revelation. When you look at the book of Genesis, you will see that God created the heavens and the earth. And he said, a plant of its own kind, a fruit will bear fruit of its own kind. He said, animal of its own kind. Human being will marry male and female and produce its own kind. What is technology and scientific is doing today? Today, we have certain kind of crops and fruits that have no seed in them. But in Genesis, God said, I eat the fruit with the seed in it. Because Greek has come out scientifically. There are companies that are called Monsantos. Monsantos came up with GMO seeds, modified genetic organism, a seed that when they plant in your soil cannot grow any other plant apart from their seed. And their seed, some of the seeds and the crops we eat, we taste it and it have no seed in it. God, by the prophetic arm, he said, eat the fruit with the seed. Now look at this. They come out with crossbreed. And crossbreed, I think when you look Leviticus 29, I stand for correction. It's stating, if it's right, I stand for a correction. It made a statement that thou shalt not crossbreed of any kind of animal or anything. Okay, we have the sperm of a German Shepherd, and they mix it with the sperm and the egg of a British Bulldog, and come out with another breed of a dog. Some of the species of the dogs we see today, my brother, is beyond human understanding. You ask yourself, that animal can even kill a human being instantly, and you are holding it. It's an animal. It can change its mind when it's hungry. People bring the lion to tame in his house and feed it, and tomorrow the dogs kill their own babies. They don't report them. Because we are moving speed in technology, we must get a renewal of mind and say, God has given us a pace to tear the land, to cultivate it in a very natural. I didn't say we should destroy it. Anything that we'll do to destroy. So when presidents and people of state refuse the prophet, which brings the mind of God, the nation goes down.
Wow. The nations goes down when the leaders of the country reject the prophet. The man of no, it's not going to be possible. But the prophet reply back to him and tell him that yes, it will happen, but you will not eat out of it. Africa will rise again. I'm believing that. And through this prophetic message, I declare that Africa will rise again. Thank you very much, those of you that you are joining us. I'm seeing your comments there. Please keep it up, keep sharing this program. Let it go viral. The more you share this program, the more this program go viral. As the man of God say, is for those people that understand what Porter is all about. This is the African Porter Radio TV International, coming to you live from Pretoria here in South Africa. So let me just quickly step away from that conversation. Let's go to something more more secular. Let's talk a bit about the challenges that we are having now with the disappearance of the African culture, African technology, and the African language. What could have been the reason, and what can we do to stop this in our society?
You see, this is a very important area that we are moving in now. You see, I wrote a song. Yeah, I wrote a song, and the song will come out. But I'll give a little lyrics. I know in the music industry it is stated something that when you have not come, somebody can still. But he says something. If you know where you coming from, you must know where you're going, and if you know your roots, you will never get lost. If you know where you're coming from, you must know where you're going. If you know your roots, you understand. If you, I will not sing all because it's not over here. If you know where you are coming from, you must know where you are going. And if you know your roots, you will never get lost. Now, one thing that we know, immediately they were able to move. Let me set my beloved brothers and sisters in the other diaspora, in the Caribbean diaspora. Immediately they brought them from Africa. and they take them to America and bring them to Britain, other place to have the Bermuda Triangle movement. They couldn't remember where they came from. Okay, they couldn't remember how to go back because they changed the route. So the route is not easy. They were in miles, some were dying and other things. But let me come back to tell you, the culture, they started changing their names. Let me tell you, today you see my name, Daniel Asamoah-larbi. My name, an African name, is Kwabena Asamoah-larbi. Kwabena, born on Tuesday. And people from Africa, you know, as your name is Olusan, you know, from Nigeria, the name identity is an identity. So immediately they change your name, the root name, and they give you an English Bible name. First place of change is a name, identity. Now, if you go to Ghana and you said Asamoah-larbi, they will tell you I'm from the Eastern region. Labi people from Late Ekwapim or Ghana. If you mention some name, they'll tell you are from Yoruba. If you mention some name, they'll say you are an Ivorian. If you mention some name, they will know that you are from South African. Okay? Now, names shows identity. Okay? And tribe, the tribe you come from, also identity. Why did the Bible say Jesus Christ of Nazareth? I'll come there. He said he's from the Lion of the tribe of Judah and the descendants of David. And his name is Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeshua HaMashiach. That's the real name. Okay? So the Romans was the one that gave them a name called Jesus. Jesus. They call it Jesus. While the Hebrew word Yeshua, Yeshush. So immediately they change your name, they change your roots, they change your identity, your language. You are no more the real person of your roots. Now, I was talking to my son. I mean, I'm a practical person. I don't lie. I was talking to my son. He might be watching. And I said, Kweku, and he's saying, he said, yeah. I said, Kweku, and then I question. He said, Dad, let's speak English. I said, look at my mistake I've done. I spoke English with my child in Ghana, when I was in Ghana, for a long time, to extent that my own two children, they cannot even express themselves. What brought this? I asked my son, now, Kweku, let me ask you, in education, what area are you not doing well? My brother, it's to my surprise. My children are very intelligent. You know what he told me? Chi language. I said, what? The only subject that you cannot make it is Chi language. I put my hand on my head. English, excellent. Maths, excellent. Science, excellent. Social studies, excellent. Mathematics, excellent. Chi, your own dialect. He said, yes, Daddy. I said, listen, from today, when I call you and you take the phone, you are going to speak with me with Chi. Who do I blame? I blame myself. I take the blame because we don't have time to teach our children our dialect, where we come from. We thought that English is international because of the slave trade, and the imperial people who rule us came and give us English language. So today, majority of children today do not even speak. Those who fathers belong to abroad, those who will live in abroad, some of the people, majority, are teaching their children in the foreign country with their language. Can you come and stand before a Nigerian child, a Nigerian old man, and say, Baba, you see, I won't tell you, say, he said, what is your name? My name is Emmanuel Atta. He said, wait, Emmanuel, what Atta? What is your father's name? What name did they give you? He said, my name is, my father gave me Oluwaga. I said, do you know the meaning of Oluwaga? Then he just said, what is the meaning of Olua? Also, Olua, God means big. I said, oh, so it means that we must begin to teach our children where our family root is. Some of the children doesn't know where their father come from. All they know is their father is a Ghanaian. Which part of Ghana? And that is why now they are using DNA to trace places people come from. When you go to Ghana, you said, my father's name is Prophet Daniel Asamoah-larbi. It is by the grace of God, God has elevated me so people can know Prophet Daniel. We know Prophet Daniel Asamoah-larbi. But if I am nobody and you mention, you are lost in the land of Ghana, unless you mention Asamoah-larbi from Late Ekwapim, and they say, oh, Latte Equafim is the eastern region. When you go to Latte Equafim and you mention Asamoah-larbi, they know the Asamoah-larbi family. They will bring you there. But this is a lot of people who have lost because the slave masters or those who colonized us gave us different name, different identity. When you mention your name, they don't want to mention your name. They'll mention a Christian name. So, my brother, it's a big thing that we must begin. Let me tell you, I've done a research. Majority of great people who make success, put it in record. Majority of African people who make success in life, business tycoons, were people who were using indigenous names. I'm telling you, people using indigenous names.
That's true.
Majority of them break through.
I concur to that.
Multi-millionaire, rich people, business entrepreneurs, check their names. They are always using their indigenous names. Their Christian names, they mostly do not show. They have had it, they drop it. Some of them, the power of attorney to change them. Not that Christian name is not good. I stand for a correction. And we are teaching about renewal of mind. Man of God, I sitting here, God calls me in a dream. Physical, in my dream, he will mention a name that you call me. He doesn't use my indigenous name, he used Daniel. Why am I saying that? The meaning of Daniel means God is my judge. The meaning of names have to contribute to your destiny. So majority of time, they take advantage to say, are you Emmanuel? It means that God is with us. Oh, your name is Blessing. May blessing follow you. Somebody say his name is Judas. He said, my God, we are in trouble. Somebody said, my first name is Bob, Robert, Bob Satan. He put his hand on the head. So names have meaning. So family people do not give names for nothing. When your great-grandfather named you, there are certain spiritual attributes that reflect to the character of your great-grandfather. So when you are named after somebody who is a wicked person, the spiritual elements affect your name. That is why Jabez, in the book, Jabez have to change his name, because when the mother was delivering Jabez, he was suffering. So he put suffering name on Jabez. Jabez do everything. He was not prospering. Everything was going bad until Jabez sat down and said, let me check. And God said unto Abram, I will give you a new name. Your name is Abraham. And he prospered. Sarai, she was barren. Now I'll make your name Sarah, and she get birth children. No, my name Jabez. What does it mean? He checked and said, oh my God, I'll change it. And he prayed, said, Father, give me a change of the name. You see, so we must know that name have effect on our identity. Also, we must also know, man of God, I'm speaking prophetically. I'm not only physical, spiritually. One of the things that affect us is our color. The color black or dark, not black. We always say black, is dark color. The color chocolate that God has given us. He gave us to us for a purpose because of the sun rays. The pigment work for us. Now, when you think that you wanted to change your color and bleaching, you are getting into a different identity. That's why some people say, hey, who are you? Is it Ngozi? He said, "It be me, Ngozi." No, Ngozi. Before I see you, Ngozi, you were dark. What kind of person are you? Change now? Oh, is a new style. No, Ngozi, your identity is shifting. God, I tell you, we have a lot to do. There's a lot to have a renewal of mind to know that I am black and beautiful. When you read Psalms of Solomon, chapter 5. When you read Psalms of Solomon, chapter 5, it mentions something. It says, I am black and beautiful, like a curtain of Solomon. And he said, look down upon me, for I am dark. It is the sun that has scorched me. For my mother's daughters make me work in their vineyard, whilst my own vineyard have I neglected. Why did that statement Solomon make it? He stated here, Solomon, all the attributes show that Solomon was a black man. Do you understand? Was a dark man. I don't want to use the word black and white. It's a dark man. Majority of the prophets in the Bible were all dark. Jesus Christ was not a Caucasian. Jesus was a Palestinian Jew. The color was mixed, dark. You understand? So all these things they put in the Bible, majority of them, when you do a research, you realize that they change it so that they will get your knowledge. We have a saying that a dark man, if you want to hide a secret from a dark man, put it in a book because they don't learn. Some of them
in a book.
Yes, put it in a book because they will not read.
They don't read.
When you begin to read, you will begin to know that a dark person, you are blessed and powerful. You are special. You are unique. Let me show you a teaching. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, God said, let us create man of our own image. He created them, male, female, he created them. Okay? Now, he says that, and God gave them their name. And name what? In Genesis chapter 5, verse 2, God gave them a name. What name God gave them? Adam. What does Adam means? Adam means from the dust, dark soil. The soil is dark. So the real nature of Adam is a person of a dark color, a human dark color, a real organic dark color. Rash Hakshana in Hebrew. So the point here is that God creation is so beautiful to multiply and increase and be beautifying. So our color is very important to us, my brother. Our color is important. So I have mentioned name. I have mentioned identity, where you come from, your tribe. There are a lot of people who don't know the tribe they come from. Oh, where do you come from? A Ghanaian. Where does your father come from? He doesn't know. Because we have been reading our curriculum, our education curriculum need to be reformed and revived. You see, because this colonialism of our curriculum, the way the Western education is, that is what they give to Africa. It doesn't work with us. Look at WAEC. When we are writing WAEC, West Africa Examination Council, look at how we suffer. We suffer and break our brain and break our brain. Once a child is from Africa who has gone through the WAEC education, sixth form, my brother, stop. Very educated. I tell you, when you come and take a pen and paper and you put them with certain children of certain diaspora, just imagine children from Africa mixed with children of the other diaspora in a classroom. The children of diaspora doesn't come near to the African children. They are intelligent. They are brilliant. So African, if you look in history, who discovered auto train, who make light, who do this railway, who did the all dark people? They are Africans. They are Africans who were, let me tell you, man of God, I want to blow your mind today. And I want to blow the mind of the people who are always on the portal, African portal. Who was the one who was able to take the ark of God from David? Who was able to take the ark of God from David? No, sorry, not David, Solomon. No one but Queen of Sheba. Queen of Sheba, an African queen with riches, raw materials, the richest Queen of Sheba brought to King Solomon. Nobody on earth has ever seen the richest Queen of Sheba had. And it's from Africa. The royalty was started from Africa. Africa are royal. King and queens come from African countries. Do you understand? Then when you look at their regalia, the dressing they wear, they are royal. Now, Queen of Sheba had a child with Solomon, and that child was able to stand in the gap for the ark of God to move to Ethiopia. The ark of God is not in Jerusalem. It's in Ethiopia. Why is it that the Jews should not go and collect? Because it doesn't belong to them. It's from Africa. When we talk about the real Jew and we talk about the origin, the root cause, majority, how many children came to Israel? It was about 72 people that Joseph family came to Africa. And they stayed there 400 years. So they intermarried the Africans. They intermarried the Egyptians. Joseph married Anatheth and have Ephraim and Manasseh from Africa. Potiphar's daughter is what Joseph married. Moses married an Ethiopian. Okay, so if you look at in the Bible, great people married great people in Africa, and Africa became a powerful continent. The elite continent in the whole entire world in history was Egypt and Ethiopia, the warriors in Africa. So African man must begin to have a renewal of mind and said, I am born blessed. You see the dress I'm wearing, the zebra, the what do you call it? The giraffe. From where? Africa. Go to game, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. You will see game, proper animals in the Garden of Eden. Where were they? The animals were in the Garden of Eden. They were not in the garden where they don't have animals. That is struggle for animals. My brother, revelation. All the animals God put in the Garden of Eden. All species of animals in Africa. Do you understand? Vegetation. They say that and he commanded the plant to grow in the garden and all and he said cultivate, multiply, and increase. Look at African soil. Rich. The soil is rich. The body is the body. Your body is a soil. God said that out of that I gave you, that's will you go. Our body is rich. It produces. Look at how African children give birth. They give birth plenty. Now listen, all that I'm saying, the context of our message today is mostly about renewal of mind as an African continent. And it's an African portal. So I am 100% concentrating much on Africa. Notwithstanding to say that the Western countries are bad. No, they are blessed. They are also have their own kind of prosperity. They are also having their own kind of technology and other things, my brother. That is their knowledge they have. We don't despise them. We come here as exile to be blessed. God give us knowledge. We have a lot of things we are learning from them that is blessing us, that we can come and change Africa. Certain things that we are supposed to do, our leaders that are killing us and doing things that they are not supposed to do, that they are coming here, we are also learning to go and help. In the prophetic ministry, man of God, there are so many prophets, they don't study, they don't learn. They are only spiritual, they don't do education. Let me tell you, the Bible alone, listen carefully. Here is a point of correction. Listen, the Bible we are holding is incomplete when it comes to education purposes, research purposes. Again, the Bible we are holding is incomplete when it comes to research educational purposes. But when it comes to salvation and how to win a soul to heaven and succeed in spiritual life, is complete. Again, the Bible we are holding in terms of education and university research is incomplete. But when it comes to spiritual life, morals, to make it to heaven is complete. Why am I saying this? When you go to the Bible in Genesis or in any other part, it talks about a man whose name is Enoch. He said Enoch is a righteous man and he was found no more. That is all he said. Okay? Now, another one, he says that in Genesis chapter 6, there were giants that came upon the earth that married the daughters of men and gave birth to renowned people. And they became giants. That's all. He finished. He didn't say anything. But when you are able to have a copy of this, the book of Enoch, here, it tells you that in the days of Jared, when it is the descendants of Enoch, of Noah, during that time, do you know what happened? There were some men which are called watchers from heaven, that God sent 200 watchers to come and protect humanity from Satan angels. And guess what? When they came, they saw people on earth already, beautiful people on earth. And the book says that when they saw the daughters of men, they married them, forced them to prostitute them, and give birth to children. And the name of the children are called Nephilims or Eliu. The Nephilims also married. The giants gave birth to the Nephilims. And the Nephilims also married and gave birth to the Eliuds. And the Eliuds also married, gave birth to the Eljo. And the Eljo married and have certain kind of species of descendants in our race today, which are called the elites. Special people, elite, they have abilities to do certain things. Why? Because they are half descendants, are half angel, half humans. Okay, and these angels, the leaders that came, is called Samzaza. Samzaza taught humanity, his children, how to cast a spell. So people who swear and cast spell, I will kill you. You take an egg. I go to juju. I go to the obia. I curse you. It is the teachings of Samzaza. And there's another one called Amoros. Amoros also taught his descendants how to counter the spell. So in this situation, when somebody send you to obia to curse you, another one will say, no, I know. Do you understand? They were rejected from heaven. And so the same deal was. And there is one whose name is, listen, there are many. One whose name is Azazel. And Azazel can be found in the Bible. Azazel in Leviticus chapter 8, verse 16. The Bible says that, and the Lord said unto Aaron, cast a lot. One will fell on God, Yahweh, and the other goat will fell on the scapegoat in King James. But when you look at the Jerusalem Bible, which I also have here, the Jerusalem Bible will tell you in Leviticus chapter 8, verse 16, that the word scapegoat that the King James is saying, the Jerusalem Bible says Azazel. So just imagine if I'm going to school and I'm making a research and I'm talking with the Bible, I will say that there's nothing called Azazel lecturer. I find the name scapegoat, and they will give me probably a half scapegoat. But when I look at other books and other Bible translation, I got the actual name Azazel. What did Azazel taught man? Azazel taught man about fornication. Azazel taught man how to use cutleries and metalworks. Azazel taught human beings about antimony, chemical reaction for a chemical atomic bombs. Azazel taught human beings about eyelashes and how to make makeups. They taught a long time. Some of the demons called angels taught about constellation, how to read and what do you call it, palm reading and constellation, like the stars, the moons. There are many. All these things came upon the earth. So there are infection on the world that if African person think that all is well, no. God said cultivate the land, educate yourself. Let us go to school. Let us change our curriculum. When I used to go to school, man of God, we have a time for Bible studies in our curriculum. Today, in our majority of curriculum, there is nothing like RS, religious studies. It's no more there. RS has been taken out, especially in Ghana. RS is no more there. They will put something culture there. The culture practice, dancing of our traditional dance. In those days, every Friday, they put all the school together. They will be doing culture practices. They have taken it out of the curriculum. How do you teach your child the values of an African? It's no more there. Man of God.
Pastor Daniel, sorry to cut you short there. Our time is fast spending. I wish we can continue this conversation, but this is just the foundation. We're coming back very soon as we're going to be having a conversation. And by the grace of God, I'm going to give you a slot on the African portal where we'll be digging out the reality and we'll be bringing things out, because I see that you are fully loaded. There is so much inside you that God wants you to also bless this generation with. There's a well of knowledge inside you that I believe the African benefit from. So to everyone joining us, thank you very much for the pleasure of your time on this program. This is the Prophet Daniel on the African Portal Radio, president of the Council of Prophet Alliance and Christian Intelligence Bureau, and founders of the House of God International. Please keep watching this program, share it. Pastor Dana will be back very soon on the African Portal fully, that will be having the conversation together. From here is goodbye. My name is Joshua Oludare, also Prophet. Before we go, in 1 minute that's remaining, please make some declaration and pray for everyone that is listening to us as we step.
Thank you very much. God richly bless you. In 2021, the Lord gave me a word for 2021 to 2025, 5 years word. And next time we'll be going into it. The word he said to me is that supernatural invasion against humanity is going on. Supernatural invasion against humanity. And he showed me a pyramid. And that pyramid, the top is spiritual warfare. On the left is the law, the constitution. And the right is physician, science, which is the pharmaceutical company. These are the three organs that is being used to attack humanity today. And so there is a spiritual warfare that God is saying that never cease to pray. Pray without ceasing. Prayer is a communication between you and the supernatural through the divine portal that God will bless you and give you power. It's an edifying, building your spiritual. Now, the law, God is saying that, man of God, every Thank you. Every believer must learn how to do what? Study the constitution of every country you find yourself. Study the constitution and the criminal